What's going on, traders? Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is June 1st, 2021, brand new start of the month. Please go ahead and click the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content. I will continue to make it for you. Today we are going to talk about the price action in the headline indices. We'll go under the hood and check out our sectors and style factors. We'll go through some of my trades for the day. We'll look at options order flow. Before we get into all that, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. All right, let's jump in here. And let's take a look at what we had for today's price action. So for our box scores, we had the S&P 500 as measured by the SPY finished down 0.09%. We had the Nasdaq QQQ, which was our biggest loser on the day, closed down 0.33%. We had the IWM small caps finish up 1.14%. And we had the Dow Jones finish up 0.07%, pretty much flat on the day. As we look at our S&P 500, this is day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of consolidation after a nice run off the lows here. One thing that is interesting about today's candle, and this, would definitely be in more like the bearish camp, is we did open, right around this level right here at around like 4,200 and change. And we actually tried to explore above this month's value area, and we got rejected. And there was some selling that occurred. We hit a high of about, where was our high? High of about 42.31, or let's call it 42.30. Yeah, 42.30. You can see that's very close to the prior all-time high of 42.38. We could not push up and exceed that high, though. We did get some economic data out this morning, and we got some manufacturing data, and apparently there were major manufacturing backlogs, which just feeds into the fear of inflation and the fear of the economy overheating. So that certainly did not help things, and it did not help tech stocks in particular. So definitely not a good thing that we could not, exceed this prior monthly value area high and this, prior all-time high right here. But if we look at our hourly chart, you can see we dipped inside of this weekly value area, but we found support at this weekly point of control. So this is an interesting spot where it's not like this is an ideal location to short the market because, we are sitting right on a potential level of support. So definitely, today's price action kind of leaves much to be desired. And it's not like, oh my gosh, we got like an awesome bullish day. It's not like we got like a super bearish day either. So it's one of those where overall, I just think of today as, some chop in the markets. And we're going to have to wait to get more information to really figure this out. If we go to our Nasdaq was the weakest throughout the session. There were a couple of opportunities where this thing really could have gone off the rails, but we did hold this 5-day exponential moving average on the Nasdaq as well. So, sure, okay, the market closed negative, but I mean, a pullback to the 5-day EMA, that's not the end of the world. You can see we're in this monthly value area. We also rejected up here around this like 13,771 level for the Nasdaq. It's definitely not exactly what you want to see where there's some selling that hits the market. But at the end of the day, this one too, holding up above that 5-day EMA, so you can't really complain. You can see on the hourly chart, on the Nasdaq, we did hold support as well. So we dipped here. This was a huge red candle that occurred within the first hour of trading. And you can see since then, we kind of tried to rally back. Then there was some selling at the end of the day, but we held this weekly value area low. So this is also, we're sitting right on support coming into tomorrow's trading session. So could tomorrow just be a big turnaround Tuesday? We'll have to see. Looking at the Russell was the strongest of these indices today. Russell definitive breakout above this monthly value area, and we closed right around the highs. So yeah, really strong action for the Russell today. And then the Dow Jones pretty much finished flat. If we go to our YM contract here, yeah, Dow Jones pretty much put in a doji candle, so not really much conviction either way on the Dow Jones. So I think for days like this, you do just have to be patient and just be like, it's not like, we don't have all the answers. Really, we just got a day of chop for the most part. So, you just have to take it into the following day and, just take it step by step. And if we look at our market breadth, this is another thing that was kind of ambiguous. Market breadth throughout the day was really oscillating up and down. I will say market breadth was much stronger at the beginning of the day than it was by the end of the day. But we had 2 indices with positive breadth and 2 with negative breadth. We had the Nasdaq and the Dow negative, and the IWM and the S&P 500 positive. So again, that's not really much to go off of, not very definitive. And if we take a look at our FinViz heat map, you can see again, this dichotomy in the market. Energy stocks had a really good showing today, whereas healthcare really bombed and was just terrible. And then you can see everything else was pretty mixed across the board. Let's pull up, so I'll just show you what I mean by that. So like, if we pull up energy, we can go to like this XLE ETF. You can see energy, nice move higher, up 3.85%, nice move above value. Whereas if you look at the healthcare sector, this one really just puked. So big extended range red candle, closed below this monthly value area low and closed very close to the lows of the day on high volume. So a lot going on under the hood today within this market. And we'll pull up our sectors to get a deeper look at that. So in terms of sectors, you can see gold miners are in our top position in terms of sector momentum. But in terms of top performers today, we had XLE, which is up 3.85%. These Chinese equities really caught fire today, up 4.02%, which is our best performer on the day. And you can see the social media stocks up 1.5%, emerging markets, internet and e-commerce up 4.12%. So that one was the best performer in the market today. But then other areas of the market like biotech was down, medical devices down, healthcare. Yeah, so definitely a very mixed bag today. If we pull up this KWEB ETF, yeah, you can see, so KWEB, nice move higher, nice gap higher, and we held, this gap up. So looking pretty strong. Some of these underlying names that were really powerful today, Pinduoduo up 11.58%. You can see that one's now trading above value. And then Futu, which has been one of my favorite names, of 5.5% here, and we took out this Virgin point of control. See, I really like this name. I actually took a target in it today, though. And then pulling up our style factors, you can see the high beta style factor crushed it today, up 1.88%. Cyclicals also crushed it, up 1.77%. But then you can see Minvol down on the day, defensives down on the day, growth down on the day, and quality down on the day. Let's take a look. We'll pull up a couple of my trades. Yeah, let's take a look at what we had. So I came into today's session pretty long. And you can see here in the morning at 9:41, I got long these SE, which is C Limited, July 17th, 260 strike calls. I ended up stopping out of those shortly after at 10:23. The market looked a bit rockier, and I did not want to add a new short-term options position, at that point in the day. SE pretty much had a pretty big reversal today. Let's see. Yeah, it ended up putting in a bit of a doji candle, but in the morning, we were trading, towards the higher end of this band. So SE still looks like it's setting up nice, but I did not really want to have, that exposure on at the moment. I closed out half of my Futu 125 by 140 June 18th call spreads. I put those on for $6.05, closed those out for $11.50. I just said, still really liking this name, but taking a target for prudence and discipline. So I saw that we had taken out that virgin point of control, and I was like, okay, this really is an ideal point to just take a target. I still have half of these call spreads on that I'm likely going to leave until expiration. And then I have more call spreads on in this name for July that are at higher strikes. And then Airbnb. I have 3 tranches of calls on in Airbnb. So I also thought it was prudent to take at least one off today. Airbnb had a nice move at 125. I took off my June 18th 138 strike calls for 980. I had paid 650 for those. And Airbnb, let's see how it closed. Yeah, not really the best close. So I'm glad that I at least took those off. Yeah, we're above the monthly value area in Airbnb. This one tried to auction lower and it could not. Now it's holding above this 20-day simple moving average. And the 5-day EMA within a couple days is going to cross above that 20-day simple moving average. So I still like Airbnb off this sort of like bottom fishing setup. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to monetize those at least very short-term calls. And then what else do we have here? I stopped out of, I had some Penn June 18th calls. I had paid $455 for those. I stopped out of them for $355. Penn just really could not get going. And I was like, in case this market does get a little bit shaky, I'd rather just stop out of this position. You can see Penn, one of these days I do think it's going to get going. But yeah, closed below this point of control, 3 red candles consecutively. So yeah, it's not really my style for right now. And I also got long an NVIDIA June 18th 655 strike call. And NVIDIA definitely looks like it is the strongest stock within the semiconductors index. And it's also just one of the strongest stocks in the market right now. NVIDIA tried to auction lower. We tagged that 5-day exponential moving average. Ended up putting in a doji candle for today at 0.12%. But I think this one, I think it's reasonable if the market holds up and, we don't just get like a big sell-off. I'm targeting this 672 level right here. Now let's take a look. And then for stock trading, I didn't really do all that much. I put on a starter position in GDX. And then I also got long Snapchat. Snapchat, you can see close up, 2.53%. Snapchat just looks like if this market can hold it together, this is going to be one of the first of the old growth names that makes a new all-time high. You can see if we look at the weekly chart, this just looks like a really nice pattern here. So it's like I can't not put a position on, but I just put it on via common stock. So we'll see. I'm liking this position. We'll see how it turns out. And then GDX. GDX has been looking pretty strong technically. You can see we're moving along in this yearly value area. And we're getting some nice tight price action here. So this is, what I like in terms of looking for another leg higher. And this 20-day simple moving average is really starting to catch up to price now. So it's not nearly as overbought. Let's take a look. We'll pull up some of our options flow for today. We did have a lot of options order flow. So you can see we had some call buying for energy names in the morning. And you can see a bunch of index options going up. Pinduoduo, this came at 1024, $1 million order. And these are short-term calls too. They bought the June 25th 135 strike calls. And that stock really got moving throughout the day. NVIDIA, you can see someone came in for June of 2022 call options. They bought the 680 strikes. They purchased 2.9 million for that order. You can see some more hedging. AR is another energy name. See, everyone was going after energy. Jumia is a name I haven't seen in forever. This player bought some July 16th, 29 strike calls. Let's see what Jumia did today. Yeah, Jumia had a really nice day up 9.56%. Now let's see here. This car company, CCIV, I believe this is Lucid Motors. What is this one doing? Yes, this went up 9.33%, but it's really just done nothing for the past several months, really since the beginning of 2021. Hasn't really done all that much, still just building a base. And then what else do we have here? Looks like an Apple order right at the top for June of 2022. Let's take a quick look at Apple and how that's setting up. Yeah, Apple, this looks horrible to me. You can see like all red candles. The Nasdaq has been doing pretty well and Apple is just doing horrible. They're definitely getting a lot more scrutiny over their App Store and how they take a 30% cut of everything that's purchased in the App Store. And this stock, yeah, it's gone sideways since like, yeah, late summer of 2020. This stock has really done nothing. That about does it for our options order flow. That also just about does it for this market recap video. Hope you all had an awesome trading day, and I will see you all tomorrow.